Hey, what is up, and welcome back to another video. Today we're talking Cry Macho, the new movie that came out today on HBO Max and in theaters, directed by Clint Eastwood, also produced by him, and also starring him. So before we get into Cry Macho, please make sure you like this video. If you're into all the new movies, new TV shows, talk about all that stuff here, so make sure to subscribe. But let's get into Cry Macho. So this will be a spoiler-free review, but to give you a little synopsis of the movie, it's about Clint Eastwood, who plays a character named Mike. And he used to be like this big-time cowboy, former rodeo star. Now he's like this depressed, washed-up guy. And he takes a job from his former boss to go get his son back from Mexico. It's the boss's son. He owes the boss a favor. So that's the whole point of the movie, is that he has to go get his boss's son from Mexico and bring him back to America. And it's just a road trip movie. You know, it follows the same tropes as any other road trip movie. If you've seen other road trip movies, they all have the same thing, right? You have to go from point A to point B. Along the way, like, some random stuff happens, and usually someone's following them and catches up every now and then along the way, right? That's kind of like the whole point of every road trip movie. This is the same exact kind of tropes, hits the same sort of beats. He has to take the son from Mexico to America. This movie that I can compare it to the most, like another movie, would have to be Gran Torino, also directed by him, and I think produced by him too, and starring him as well. And it's just the same thing, because in Gran Torino, he's surrounded by, a whole, like, Asian cast, right? Like, not many people can speak good English in that movie. He takes, like, some kid under his wing in that one as well, right? And this one, it's the same thing, except, substitute Asians for Hispanics. Nobody can speak good English. It's only Clint who speaks, like, good English in the movie. And then he takes this little kid under his wing. He's got to take him, it's just them two for, like, the whole movie, pretty much. And unlike Gran Torino, I think Gran Torino I actually liked a lot. I thought that was a very good movie, Gran Torino. And it's just more interesting. There's, like, some suspenseful scenes there. The whole gang stuff is pretty interesting. I think there's, like, better life lessons in that movie. For this one, it's just not as interesting. Like, not that much stuff goes on. Like, in the beginning, it's like, you're like, okay, this is not bad. And then just throughout, it becomes kind of, like, repetitive. And it is easy to follow. Like, what's going on. It's not, like, a confusing movie. It's kind of like what you expect it to be. But then it's also, like, easy to, like, lose interest, and it just becomes, like I said, repetitive and predictable. Another thing about this movie is that Clint Eastwood is now 91 years old, which, I mean, God bless him. I mean, I'm a big Clint Eastwood fan. I love Clint Eastwood. He's, like, one of the best of all time, right? And I am happy that he's still making movies. Like, he's 91, yeah, he's old, and maybe he should just retire, but I don't want to. Like, I love seeing him, like, and it's nice seeing his face on screen, especially at this age. It kind of brings, like, this heartwarming, like, lighthearted feel to have him still making movies, Obviously, he can't do the same stuff, though, as other movies, or it's not as believable in this movie. Like, sometimes there's one scene where he tries to, like, fight, he's throwing, like, these slow punches, and it just looks kind of, like, awkward, because I think, actually, Arnold Schwarzenegger was supposed to be casted for this movie, and then Clint replaced him. So, I mean, in Arnold's place, I think this movie actually could maybe worked a little bit better. Maybe they added more action because Arnold can do that. I just don't think there's literally no action in this movie, pretty much. Some things, actually, I can't even think of one thing, which makes sense. I mean, Clint Eastwood's 91 years old. He can't be doing this stuff anymore. He can't be running around or, like, getting into gunfights and stuff. So, like, don't expect, there's no really gunfights or anything suspenseful or interesting like that. But there is some, like, life lessons and stuff like that. That's what I'm saying. It's predictable. It's like, okay, like, he's teaching him how to ride a horse. He's teaching him how to do this. He's got to, like, chase a chicken. He's got to... it's just, like, some things are unbelievable, though. Like, there's one scene where, I'm not spoiling this, but, like, girls will flirt with Clint Eastwood when he's 91, and there's, like, this, like, 30-year-old woman, like, that wants to, like, sleep with him. Another woman, like, who's, like, 60, which is more believable, but, like, this dude looks old in the movie, so it just, I don't know if that's mean to say, but it just came off as, like, unbelievable and kind of, like, took me out of the movie, and I was like, this is kind of dumb. And then it just follows the same sort of tropes, like I said, it's predictable, like, literally for the whole hour of the movie where, like, literally nothing goes on, like, no one's even chasing them, they're just, like, chilling. Like, Clint's falling in love with some girl. He's got, like, a nice family. He looks back on his old life, realizes, like, this is what he wants, stuff like that. It's just, like, predictable. I don't know if that's a spoiler now, what I'm saying, but that's pretty much, like, just where my negatives lie. Like, it's not a bad movie at all. It just gets repetitive, predictable, just, like, boring, the same sort of words. But there is, like, the things I do like about it. Like I said, it's not a bad movie at all. Like, it's directed well. It's easy to follow. If you like Gran Torino, you may, like, enjoy this one, even though I did like Gran Torino a lot, but I just was able to nitpick this one a little bit more just because it felt too much of the same. So that's what got me mad. But what was I really expecting? Like, I knew what I was getting coming into this movie, So, but still, like, it just wasn't engaging, or there's nothing new, or there's just nothing that had me pulled in or made me interested in what was going on, Just very cut and dry. One thing I do like, I guess, is that there is one twist that I'm not spoiling, that I thought was good. Like I was like, okay, that's a good little element to this. It's different. It's cool. But yeah, everything else just I don't know. It just didn't do it for me. Just didn't do it for me. I'm happy I watched it on HBO Max. And it's funny because I checked my local theater just to see like, oh, I wonder like how this movie will do in theaters. Like, are people gonna go see it? And I checked the 4 o'clock showtime, and there was nothing. There's like nobody paid to go see it. And at 7 o'clock, there's no seats filled at all, which I guess makes sense. But I'm just surprised like nobody's going to theaters for this. I don't know. But I guess when it's on HBO Max, it's better because I think this is a movie better tailored for home. You know, if I went to the theater to see this, I think I would have been kind of mad that I waste my money on seeing this when it's easily accessible on HBO Max at home. I think it could be more enjoyable at home. But yeah, just overall, I'll give you guys my rating right now. I'm going to give it a 2.7 out of 5, you know, which is pretty low, but it's not bad. It's not a terrible rating. It's like, it's 2.7 right in the middle, right? It's just kind of like you're watching, you're just like, eh. So that's it. If you guys watched the movie already, please let me know what you thought of it, if you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you plan on going to see it. Please make sure to like the video if you enjoyed this, and please make sure to subscribe if you're new here. And thank you guys for watching like always, and I'll see you in the next video.